Let's start off with the AFC East. Do you want to go first or me?
You can go first, my friend.
Okay, of course. Um, Starting with the AFC East, last place in that division with a record of 4-13. I have the New England Patriots.
Oh,
Now,
no.
I saw your face change,
Whoa.
and you might be thinking that that is
Whoa.
uncharacteristically low for Bill Belichick's
Wow.
side, correct?
A
For Bill
Bill,
Belichick.
yes, a Bill Belichick led roster getting 4 wins in the season. That's crazy.
I agree.
No
I
way.
agree. But how many wins did they have last year?
I believe seven,
Seven,
7 or
right?
8.
Seven, and that
Yeah.
was sweeping the Jets, right? The
Mm-hmm.
Jets obviously don't have Zach Wilson at quarterback anymore, so you're not getting those free wins from bad QBs, right? And what I expect from the Patriots is this: I think Mac Jones is a type of quarterback where he can beat those bad teams, right? Belichick will get you the wins against those rookie QBs, maybe second year QBs that are still jittery, and coming off a bye, Belichick will guarantee you those wins. Mac Jones, I don't think can elevate you to take over or upset a team, and for that reason, that's why I have them only winning 4 games.
I'm sorry. I cannot agree with you with that, like with that at all. I'm sorry. That's bad. That's bad. That is shocking.
I understand that, but you also got to think this is not the same Bill Belichick that we've seen. He has been great defensively, right? Bill Belichick will always own the defensive side, and I think Bill O'Brien was actually a great hire for that offensive coordinator position. I mean, any hire would be an upgrade over what Matt Patricia was last year. To be fair,
Mhm.
but I'm just saying, like between them and all the other teams that they play, there's just such a disparity, and it's like unless they're playing the bottom of the bottom, I don't see how they can win with this offense.
That is true. And for the last team in the AFC East, I'm gonna agree with you. I got the Patriots being there as well. Me personally, I have them going 6-11 uh, with their record.
Do you have their division record?
No, I do not. Just
Okay.
their record in general. But for the AFC East this year, I have them, finishing last in that regard too. There's just so much talent with the top three teams in this division. You have the Jets now with Aaron Rodgers, already having arguably the best defense in the entire league, and then you go to the Bills. They're always going to be competitive with Josh Allen at QB, Stephon Diggs being their top wide receiver. Then we got the Dolphins. Um, if Tua is healthy, they're always going to be in the mix. Their skill position players are great with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle as their top two receivers. And then, with that being said, you look towards New England. You're gonna have the coaching, obviously, with Bill Belichick. He's gonna pull a few wins out of just off of them being a well coached team every year. But you look at their wide receivers, they can't consistently separate. I mean, they signed Juju, but he's not known as a consistent separator. um, Corners like that's one of their strongest positions on this entire roster. I do like Jonathan Jones, Jack Jones, and their new star. He's going to be great this year, and Christian Gonzalez from Oregon in the first round. But with that being said, man, there's just a lack of talent on so many positions that when you compare them to the other top teams in the AFC East, they just can't compete.
I agree. I agree. I think that was very well explained. I will say, giving the Patriots 4 wins, it felt wrong. It felt wrong just because in the NFL, coaching and culture are such a massive thing, and they have such a great impact on teams and their records. So it felt low giving them 4 wins, but I just felt like I had to. And the interesting thing is that heading into the season, it's been rumored that obviously Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft's relationship has kind of been worsened, getting worse over the years. I am curious if they miss the playoffs again. If they have a record of 4-13, is Bill Belichick on the hot seat?
Yes, for sure. And people could think that, oh, okay, Bill Belichick's Teflon, arguably the greatest coach of all time, built two dynasties basically with Tom Brady when they were there back in the 2000s and in the early mid 2010s. But right now, what have they done since Brady left? What have they done since all the key guys are gone, like Gronk, Edelman, and as I said before, Brady? What have they done since? One playoff
No,
appearance?
Not a
and the
whole lot.
only playoff appearance was in the wild card game where they got beat up by the Bills. It wasn't even close that game.
Massacred by the Bills.
I think they lost by 30. It was bad.
34.
It was over by half. And
It
so
was the
with that being
largest.
said,
I think
yeah,
it was the largest playoff loss of Bill Belichick's career. So there's that.
right there.
All right, let's move on. In third place for this division, and this shows how strong that this division is. But the third place team is the Miami Dolphins with a record of 10-7.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
Similar to what you said, this is assuming full health. So I am assuming Tua is going to play the full year. Obviously, we'll see what happens with that. But like you mentioned, skill positions off the charts with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Obviously, the defense is good. I would have had them higher, but I had to keep them a little lower because of the Jalen Ramsey injury. But I think the Vic Fangio hire is a fantastic hire, and I think that defense is going to look a lot better this year.
I agree with you as well. Vic Fangio, of course, one of the greatest defensive minds in the league right now. We've seen his work with the Bears, the Broncos when he was the head coach, their defense over the years, always a consistently elite defense. And with what the Dolphins had last year, their issues, their pass defense, one of the worst in the entire league. But I think Fangio is the right guy to take care of that, to solve those issues. And with that being said, though, I still think there's going to be a little bit of growing pains because you're going to switch from a completely whole new defensive scheme with Fangio as a new defensive coordinator. But if they start to click mid-season, look out.
Yeah, yeah, especially because they'll have Jalen Ramsey come back midseason as well. So they're going from having Xavier Howard and Eli Apple as your 1 and 2 corners to having uh, Ramsey and Howard, and then Eli Apple as your third corner sounds pretty nice to me. Plus, you have a great pass rush with Jaden Phillips. Obviously, you have Javon Holland in the secondary, who I really like. So they're a very exciting team, and I know I have them at 10-7, finishing third in their division. Spoiler: they did not make the playoffs for me, um, but they'll be a very tough team to face, and you won't want to face them this year.
Mm-mm. All right. For my third best team in the AFC East, I'm actually going to agree with you on this one, Matt.
Nice,
I got
nice.
Miami placing there. For me, one less win at 9-8.
No problem.
Yeah, just to reiterate the same things you said, I just think Tua, he is the guy, that puts them between being a playoff team, even a dark horse contender for the Super Bowl, or even an AFC championship title run, or just not making the playoffs at all. And for him, his history with concussions, man, that's going to be a huge factor
Yeah.
with him being able to stay healthy, man. Him being able to, not take as many big hits like he did in past years of his career. Him being able to stay healthy for a complete 17 game season is going to be very crucial for this man and the Dolphins to be a formidable team in the AFC.
Well, that and then it's also like the mental aspect of things, right? Like, because this dude, he's had what was it, 3 concussions last year?
I
Was it
believe so. Yeah, three.
3 concussions last year? So when that pocket starts to squeeze, when the pressure starts to get loose, it's like the clock in his brain is already speeding up faster than usual, and I think that that's going to happen because he's going to be a little scared to get these hits, and so. While it might be a good thing for his health, and if he's throwing a lot of passes away or throwing it early for his health, I got no problem with that. But I think that that might be something that the Dolphins will have to deal with this season.
Mm.
Um,
I agree with you on that. I agree with
but
you.
moving to my second place team in the AFC East, I might have my first upset, and that is because the Bills are finishing in second in this division with a record of 12-5.
Mm.
Um, I wanted to put the Bills higher. I did because they've kind of run this division the last couple of years. Obviously, Josh Allen can be the second best QB in the NFL when he's playing at his best. But the reason I had to put them at second was because I felt like they lost a lot of key pieces this offseason. I felt like a lot of their injuries kind of deterred them, and I feel like those injuries might have some trouble getting back into playing in season form. And then I also have some question marks along the receiving core. Obviously, we'll know Stephon Diggs is going to be great. He's going to be a top whatever wide receiver, but we didn't see Gabe Davis take that jump. We didn't see anybody step into that wide receiver 3 role. So I still have quite a bit of question marks regarding the wide receiver core in this team. And the running game is always a question mark.
That's true. And also, don't forget their pass rush, man.
Yeah,
Von Miller, that was such a big loss midseason with him being out for with that ACL tear, man.
you got
And
it.
once he was out, that Bulls pass rush, man, borderline bad. And we saw that especially in the Bengals game in the playoffs. Joe Burrow had all day in the pocket to throw to make these quick passes, quick easy reads, man. And
Mhm.
if Von Miller is not able to play at all during this season, man, oh,
Well, what are
it,
they saying? Have they said anything?
no, he's gonna be out for I think the first 4 games of the year. With him
Mhm.
being on the PUP list, so
Yeah. Plus, he's
yeah,
34 at the moment, and coming off a major injury, it's obviously going to take some time to revamp and get back to his normal self. If he gets back to his normal self, which we all hope to see, because Von Miller's a great Hall of Famer, but Von Miller has typically also like coasted through the regular season, and then he kind of goes off come playoff time. So it is like you're stuck with Ed Oliver in the pass rush.
Ed Oliver, Gregory Rousseau. Can he take a leap this year as one of the standout guys on a D line in the pass rush? There's just a ton of questions that I have for that team um, in that aspect. So I don't know.
Who do you have in your second place spot for the AFC East?
I think we're gonna get every single team right for this
Nice,
division to start off,
nice.
and I have the Bills finishing second with 11 wins. They're gonna go 11-6.
Okay, so we're 1 win off for most teams. Um,
That is true.
yeah. So now that I see that we have the Jets at 1, tell me why you put the Jets at 1 over the Bills.
A Rod, baby. A Rod, and also with them having probably the most complete roster in the
Mhm.
entire division. I mean, you look at offense, O line should be solid. The running game, way better than Buffalo's. They're going to have Brees Hall back. Just signed Dalvin Cook, so that's going to be a nice 1-2 punch in that aspect. I did say before they got A Rod. I don't think he's washed. I still think he has plenty of
For sure.
stuff left in the tank. And you put him alongside a guy like Gary Wilson, probably the second best wide receiver he's going to play with. The first being, of course, Devontae Adams during his time in Green Bay. I just think those two, they're going to create a lot of fireworks in that offense. The wide receiver room, that worries me a little bit outside Gary Wilson. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't like Lazard as the wide receiver, too. That's not going to be good. But moving on to the other side of the ball, I really like that defense, man. They got some dogs on the D line. Of course, led by Quentin Williams as well. Lots of depth on that side too. Carl Lawson, Jonathan Franklin Myers, and then with the younger guys like Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald the fourth, the guy they just picked in the first round out of Iowa State, and then we move along to the secondary. Uh, Sauce, man, clear best corner in the entire league.
No, no, no.
You don't think so?
Disrespect.
Why?
Don't disrespect number two. Don't disrespect number two in the current state we're in.
PS2. I'm putting PS2 at two when it
No,
comes
he's
to
better. He's better.
cornerbacks in this league. Sauce is
Stop
better.
disrespecting.
Bro, do not come here with
Sauce got away with a
that
lot of
PI
holding last year.
nonsense, bro. So you told me it's not good for corners to be physical in the NFL no more. Is that what you're telling me?
No, no, I'm just telling you that the way they officiated PS2 was not the same that they officiated Sauce.
Oh my god,
And
bro.
if they
So you
did, and
telling
if they did, he would be your number two.
Oh my god, bro.
I'm just saying.
So you telling me when a wide
It's
receiver
all hold on, hold on. It also helps. It also helps when you go against Zach Wilson twice a year. and you go against Mac Jones twice a year, versus going against Pat Mahomes twice a year, Justin Herbert twice a year, and Derek Carr, who's solid with Devontae Adams.
You said Zach Wilson, even though the
I'm
Gardner
saying
they
last
were
year.
on the same
I'm
team.
saying last year
Yeah,
he went
they're on
against.
the same team.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
They're on the
That
same
was you.
team.
That
I
was
mean,
me.
but
Apologies.
as a replacement, like
But he went against
right?
Skylar Thompson was there for a game. I think Teddy Bridgewater there for the other one. Did he not go against Tua for
I
either? I know one game was for sure without Tua.
yeah, that was the last game of the year. Skylar Thompson played.
But yeah, that's my bad for the Zach Wilson one.
No,
um,
no, you're
but
good.
but back to the Jets being first. You hit it on the head. I mean, they are arguably the most complete roster in the league with a star-studded defense with arguably the best corner duo and Sauce and DJ Reed. You obviously have great
Mhm.
interior presence in the trenches with Quinnen Williams, and then, like you mentioned on offense, I'm expecting really exciting backfield work between um, Brees Hall and Dalvin Cook. I did read a report the other day that said like Dalvin Cook is the perfect back that the Jets want, but they're going to keep Brees Hall as the running back one, which is the right thing to do. Um, they brought in Randall Cobb, who's a savvy vet that Rodgers obviously has great chemistry with. I actually don't have a problem with Lazard being the two. I would have preferred them to draft Jackson Smith and Jigba in the draft because he was on the board when they were picking. I thought that was like a match made in heaven that they should have done. Um,
Mhm.
but just the chemistry that he has with Lazard. Lazard had a pretty good year last year, and he was basically the wide receiver one for the Packers. So I think if he has a lot more pressure off of him with the running game, with guys like Garrett Wilson, who I'm expecting a big year from, I think he could be solid at that wide receiver two position.
Okay.